Good morning and welcome to Monday Morning Quarterback for Sunday, November 23rd. This week we had celebrated Christ the King Sunday as the last Sunday of the common Christian year before we start Advent, where we celebrate Jesus Christ, who is the King of our lives and who is the King of the world, who sits on the throne from whence he will return one day to set all things right. And as we considered that Sunday, what does it mean for Christ to be King in our lives? I went back to Samuel chapter 8. Which is a story in the Old Testament where Samuel, who has been the leader of the judge that is leading the Israelite people, he's gotten old. His sons are not the same as he was. They're not godly people. So the people go to him and say, Samuel, we want a king like all the other nations. Sounds like, teenagers saying, I want to do it because all my friends are doing it. And so he goes to God, and God says, well, I'm their king. I've always been their king, and I've always provided for them when they followed me. But tell them that if they want a king, they can have a king, but he's going to steal their sons. He's going to steal their daughters. He's going to take their money. He's going to bring destruction to them because he is going to set himself up in power over everybody and do what he wants. And they're not going to like that. So Samuel goes back to the people and tells them that. And I said, we don't care. We still want a king like all the other people. And sure enough, as we have both good kings and bad kings that follow, we start out with Saul, who's a bad king, and we have David, who's a good king, Solomon, who's a good king for halfway through, and then we have a lot of bad kings. Josiah and Hezekiah are kind of oddities in there that they are God-fearing people. There are others that are not bad kings, but it brings destruction to them. Yet how often do we hear people in our own world almost speaking the same words? We want to be like everybody else. We want to use the values and the purposes of everybody else in the kingdom. And yet when Jesus Christ came, the real king, the Son of God king, he was different. First of all, his throne for a king was the cross. He died for us. And the power of the king was demonstrated on that cross because it's agape love. It's self-sacrificing love, not for himself. The kingdom is to be known by the love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, which is the fruit of the Spirit, which is what the kingdom is all about. If we are going to be kingdom people, we need to make sure we have the right king on the throne in our hearts and in our churches. And that's the king that we should be calling and leading people towards, not one that fits what all the other people have. When we celebrate the King, we celebrate Jesus who did it differently, who showed us that love is the true power, that grace and mercy is the best gift, and that his presence in our life is daily, and we need nothing but him to overcome all that is evil in this world, because that is the way of God, and that is the way of the true King. Good morning. And welcome to Monday Morning Quarterback for Sunday, November 30th, which is the first Sunday of Advent, as we begin to prepare ourselves for the coming of the Messiah, the birth of the baby Jesus in Bethlehem again this year, and hopefully a new birth of him in our heart in a new and powerful way. Christmas is always about waiting, isn't it? It's waiting for time to go to the parties or for your friends and family to come over, for the meal to start, to open the presents, to see the Christmas shows. But often our waiting ends up at this time of the season, a nervous waiting, a waiting in the darkness of our worries and our anxieties. It can end up being that we wait in our grief and our loneliness and our fears, our oppression and addictions, our needs that we feel, and we want to be joyful and happy. But how do we find hope in the midst of the darkness that seems to surround us sometimes, both inside us and around us in this world? And when I think of that, I think of the passages from Isaiah as he begins to prophesize about the coming of the Messiah. And he says, fear not, for the darkness will not go on forever, but a light will break. The sun will come. The Messiah will come. There is a sense of when those that wait upon the Lord, as it says in Isaiah 40, they will run and not grow weary. They will have a new hope. They will mount up on wings like eagles, fly. Now, the word for waiting is kavah in the Hebrew, and it's a sense of gathering together. It's looking, it's patiently, it's working and waiting and hoping and trusting. And when we are going to kavah for the Lord, when we are going to wait for the coming of the Messiah, if we're waiting with hope, having hope in the darkness, then that means we're hoping and putting our trust in God and his goodness. That even though we may sit in darkness in the moment, that the light is still coming. That though we may not feel it, there is good things on the way, and that we can trust our God, who is a good God, to give us what we need when we need it. It is, as Psalm 40 says, I waited upon the Lord and he delivered me. Or as John says about Jesus, those that sit in darkness have seen a great light, and the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. You see, when we trust in the goodness of God and we open ourselves up for him to bring us hope in the way that he chooses to do it, not the way that we might want to design it, when we are preparing the way for that in our hearts and the world around us, then we get the gift of hope, the hope that comes from knowing that Jesus Christ loves us because God loves us, and he is do anything for us to deliver his children. And so we light candles at Advent in the church and in our homes because we're lighting candles in the darkness to let the light of Jesus shine out into the world. Let God's hope come to you, even in the darkness, even in the waiting, even in this season. May he deliver you from that which you need to be delivered from, and may his hope and his grace be sufficient, because it always